with this particular equation, we have one fraction involved. Somebody help me out. I know it's a Monday morning. It is bright and early, just after 8:15. Where am I looking to start? What do you think? Let's get somebody involved. Andrew.
Multiply both sides by the denominator.
Awesome. So when dealing with a single fraction, best way to go about it, get rid of that denominator. Keeping in mind, like in many of our math sections, it's not the only way that you can go about this. There are some other ways, but I find this one's usually the one of the easiest. All right, what happens now that we've multiplied both sides by 5? And before I go any further, what's under the 5? I see 5, and it's kind of in no man's land. Something we want to make sure is that we realize this 5 is not an exponent. I'm kind of keeping it up here because there is something underneath it that's assumed in math. What do you think, Danielle?
1.
Oh, 1. Nicely done. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to, just to kind of keep that in mind that, you know what? These numbers all have a 1 underneath. So everything we've done in school up to this point, when we multiply numbers, we've been multiplying fractions. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, except the bottoms do absolutely nothing, okay, when it's the number 1. All right, 1 times 1 is itself. So what do we have here? I'm just going to get rid of that because it's not necessary, but what's going to happen now that I've multiplied both sides by 5? What do you think? We've got the Austin stretch. Throw me for a whirl again on a Monday morning. What do you think there, Anthony?
You quintuple everything.
Ooh, I like that. Quintuple. Awesome. So I'm essentially making both sides 5 times bigger, right? So it's getting bigger on both sides. On the left side, what's 3 quintupled or 5 times bigger than that? Yes?
15.
Nicely done. So I've got my 15 over here. How about on the right side when I take 2/5 of this bracket, 2/5 of n plus 7, and I multiply it by 5, what ultimately happens in this scenario? And that's the part you really want to focus on, because I picked this question for a reason. Because this is kind of one of the harder questions when dealing with one fraction. What do you think? Not too many hands here? Couple hands? Couple hands? What do you think, Sophia?
You would cancel out the 5, and then you do 2 times 10.
Awesome. So remembering, folks, this 5 over here, this is 5 over 1. I can multiply these two fractions out, or remembering that 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we divide those guys out, and guess what? We're left with, can you say what you're left with again there, Sophia? 2, anything else?
2n plus 7.
Nicely done. So 2n plus 7 in brackets. So ultimately all that's happened is this denominator has gone bye-bye. Remembering, this is now 5 times bigger, okay? So both sides are 5 times bigger. All we've done is we've kind of made them bigger and proportional on both sides. All right, take us home here, folks. Now it should be easy street from this point. What's it going to be? Anthony, help.
15 equals 2n plus 14.
Nicely done. So remembering, we're multiplying that into the brackets. Awesome work. So distribution, you guys are very, very good at that and efficient at that. How about, I think Adam had wanted to help in the previous step. What are we going to do now, Adam?
Subtract 14 from 15.
Awesome. And remember, you don't have to show what I show all the time. Some people are starting to realize if I bring a term to the other side, the term flips its sign. That's all that's really happening. But I always show it to make sure no one gets confused. And what are we left with now? Now that we've done that step, what do we got? How about Scully? What are we left with, man?
1 equals 2.
Awesome. Awesome. So just making sure everybody's on task over here. And finally, I've got 2 n's equal 1. What does 1 n equal? What do I do to bring it home there, Oscar?
0.5 equals n.
Awesome. 0.5 equals n. So we're just dividing these guys out, and we're left with 1/2 equals n, or 0.5 equals n. Okay, which answer is correct? 1/2 or 0.5? Which one do I want to see on your assessment? What do you think, Jordan? Any, it doesn't matter. Okay, the only time that would matter is if a question specifically asked you for a final answer as a fraction or a final answer as a decimal, but that's not what we're trying to assess here. We're trying to assess that you can get to the end. Okay? Good job, folks. Very